Hello everyone, welcome to the LitmusChaos Plugin demonstration. This is our agenda today. We'll perform a simple demo on the LitmusChaos plugin for Spinnaker. We'll view the plugin source, the GitHub repository, which holds the LitmusChaos plugin. This is a pre-configured job plugin which helps you to add a chaos experiment stage to a Spinnaker pipeline, and it executes experiments from the LitmusChaos project on the Spinnaker pipeline. We have added the plugin to the Heliad config. This is following the configuration as per the V2 plugin standard in Spinnaker. We'll go ahead and instrument a sample pipeline called chaos pipeline with a chaos stage. As part of this pipeline, we are going to do a pod delete experiment against a hello world application. We look at the various configuration options available for this stage and also take a sneak peek into the supported Litmus experiments as part of this plugin. We'll execute this chaos pipeline and watch the chaos unfold, and finally check out the pipeline status and view the console logs of the experiment that we just ran. With that, let's get started. So here is a simple hello world application. It's a single replica deployment that has been created in the Spinnaker namespace, and we have got that pod running here, as you can see. Next up, we have made the changes into the Heliad configuration by extending it with the LitmusChaos plugin. So let's view how that has been done. You can see that we have the LitmusChaos pre-configured job plugin. We are using the 0.0.4 version of this plugin, and the repository is available here. Let me just show you the source of this plugin. It is available in the myadata-io/Spinnaker pre-configured job plugin repository, and there is some usage documentation that you can follow to repeat the steps that we're going to perform in this demo. Right, now let's go ahead and instrument the chaos pipeline with an additional stage. Right now, it only has a manual judgment stage just for us to get started with the pipeline. So let's add another stage. So you have the LitmusChaos stage appear here. It's going to depend upon the manual judgment stage. We're going to run it in sequence. This has various configuration options. As part of this stage, you can install the Litmus infrastructure components, that is the Litmus operator, the chaos CRDs, as also a set of supported chaos experiments from the generic category of chaos experiments. We're going to select a pod delete experiment, and there are a lot of supported experiments that you can see on the chaos hub. That's hub.litmuschaos.io. Let's take a short look at what are the supported experiments on the hub today. There are various categories of experiments, amongst which the LitmusChaos plugin for Spinnaker supports pod level chaos experiments from the generic suite. So these are the experiments that are supported. In the experiment name value, let us provide a supported experiment. We are going to select pod delete. There are others that you can select from the list, as we just saw. We're going to target an application that is identified by the label name equals to hello. This is the key value in the label, and it is residing in the Spinnaker namespace. AUT refers to the application under test, and we're targeting the Hello World app. We're going to run this pod delete for a period of 30 seconds. We're going to kill the pod a couple or more times during this period. This is something that you can configure. And there are other tunables which are not relevant or not really necessary for the pod delete experiment, but have been pre-populated with defaults in order to help execution of other experiments such as pod network latency or pod CPU hog or memory hog or pod IO stress, etc. Things such as what is the runtime we are going to use in the cluster, what is the socket file, because it's going to use some runtime APIs to perform some of the chaos experiments. As part of this demonstration, we are going to set the uninstall litmus value to false because we want the chaos resources intact on the cluster so that we can go and take a look at what actually they consist of and what information they hold. So we're going to save changes to this pipeline. Now the changes have been made. Let's start a manual execution of the chaos pipeline and trigger the actions. We have the job that will get started, the pre-configured job to run the chaos experiment. You can see that this is the job that's run as part of this pipeline. It has created a chaos operator that is going to orchestrate the chaos and also has installed the chaos CRTs. One instance of the chaos engine CR has been created, which has led to the creation of these chaos resources, the engine runner and the pod delete pod, which are now terminating the Hello World application. You can see the pod delete chaos is in progress. By default, these experiments are going to look at the availability of the Hello World service, the availability of the pods in running state with all the containers in ready state as entry and exit criteria for this experiment. Having said that, you can place a lot of custom checks for your experiment run using litmus probes. Litmus probes are a way to declaratively define your hypothesis in the chaos engine CR. More details about this can be found in the litmus documentation, which has been, the link to which has been provided in the plugin repository we just viewed. So this was a very quick run of the experiment. The pod delete experiment has been completed and we can see the job enter completed state. Now let us take a look at the chaos resources, the CRs that were created as part of this experiment run and what information they hold. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to migrate to the next terminal and describe the custom resource called chaos engine that we created to spin off this experiment. The chaos engine, as you can notice, is basically a set of information about what is run as part of the experiment. It got information about what is the app kind we are targeting, what is the label of the application that we're targeting in order to filter it, which is the namespace we're running it against, what is the service account that has been used to run the experiment. We can use per experiment service accounts, or we can use a single service account to run all the experiments, depending upon choice of the user. And here is some information that we passed as part of the stage configuration. And you can see the engine status is completed and the verdict of the experiment is set to pass because we only had the vanilla instructions to check whether the pods came back in running state and all containers were ready at the end of the experiment. And during the course of the experiment, it generates a lot of events which actually says that the experiment was initialized. We were able to perform some dependency checks against the experiment. Sometimes experiments can mount config maps and secrets, and there are validation checks to see whether they are available on the cluster. The experiment job was created. That's the pod delete pod we saw during the experiment. And at each stage of the experiment run, the pre-chaos check, the injection of chaos, the post-chaos check, and then the cleanup aspects, they're all recorded here. This can be used for observability purposes. In this example, we've chosen to retain the chaos resources without deleting them. So the log says that the engine has completed, but the resources are going to be retained as per the job cleanup policy. Right. Another custom resource that has got created, and you can create rules based upon this on the Spinnaker pipeline whenever you're planning to decide the success of a stage or deciding upon promotion of an app into the next stage. That is the chaos result. The chaos result is very similar to the chaos engine, but it is more focused on the run details rather than the configuration of the experiment. Here you can see that we have got information about the verdict, step of failure, if at all it has failed, and the phase of the experiment. And if the probes have been defined, the ones that we mentioned about being able to specify steady state and hypothesis in a declarative way in the chaos engine, the success percentage of the probes and the individual probe status is something that's also reflected as part of the chaos result. So with this, let's go take a look at our pipeline. It has completed successfully. We'll take a look at the console logs and see what information is available in the jobs logs for us in case we want to debug. This is executed as a BDD scenario written in Ginkgo framework. So you will see that we're installing the Litmus components and pulling the experiment CRs from the Chaos Hub. And then we are getting started with the experiment. We've created the necessary RBAC and created the Chaos engine. And the runner pod has been created. We are waiting for the experiment to complete. And once that's complete, we are just displaying the experiment logs for people to take a look at what happened in the course of the experiment. So this was a very simple run through of the Spinnaker plugin, LitmusChaos plugin for Spinnaker. You can run one or more chaos experiments using this plugin by adding different stages. In case you would like to chain together a set of experiments before uninstalling Litmus, you're free to do that. You can set the uninstall Litmus to false, and you can also set the install Litmus configuration to false in the stages, while having a separate stage in the beginning and or in the middle of the pipeline to just install Litmus and uninstall it right at the end. For that, we also have what we're calling as the Spinnaker chaos templates. So this is the spiritual predecessor to the plugin model of running pre-configured jobs in Spinnaker. So while what we saw was a plugin which executes different experiments and also has support for installation and uninstallation of Litmus, Spinnaker chaos templates are pure job templates that you can specify inside the orca-local.yaml service configuration file inside of Heliad. And this has templates for individual experiments as well as for Litmus infra operations like uninstall and install. You can use these templates to obtain them as individual stages inside of Spinnaker while using the plugin for running other experiments. Or you could use other Spinnaker chaos templates for choosing the experiments that you want to run. With this, we will end this demonstration. Do try out this plugin and share your feedback on any improvements that you would like to see. Thank you.